and answer the question, what happened to Raleigh's October 2021 elections? As you recall, we have elections every 2 years. They're in odd numbered years. So we had one in 2019 and we were due to have one in 2021. But census data was delayed and we need to redraw the council districts because the populations have grown in the last 10 years. June 1st, City Council met in secret. A number of us had been asking them in April and May, what are you going to do about elections? You're going to postpone them? And if so, everyone else seems to be postponing elections to March when the next primary is. So are you going to do that? Or are you going to try to hold the election in October? At one point, the mayor said, we aren't having any discussions on that subject. So June 1st, council meets in secret. They agree on a secret plan. And the plan is to put elections off not until March, but until next November. There is no public hearing on this agreement. There's no vote. And the next thing that happens is a week later, the city attorney lets it drop that council is asking the General Assembly to put our 2021 elections off to November of 2022. And she tells a reporter, we don't need a vote on this and we don't need any discussion. And the details of the plan remain unknown. The next day, Senate Bill 722 is coming up in the House. It changes elections all over the state from this year to next March. It's suddenly amended in the House of Representatives, and the amendment reads as follows. No municipal election shall be conducted in the city of Raleigh in 2021. The next regular municipal election will be conducted November 8th, 2022. And Section 1.8A, the method of election of the city council shall be changed from nonpartisan election and runoff to nonpartisan plurality, which means no primary, no runoff, just one election. And if there are 10 candidates, whoever gets the most votes wins, no matter how few votes that is. So, next slide, Bob. All right, so that same day, Senate Bill 722, as amended, passes the House. This was done in such haste and such secrecy that the Democrats in the House later tell us they didn't know that this request from the city council had been done without any public notice, without any public meeting, had not been subject to a vote even in public. They didn't know that. So, gosh, they were kind of embarrassed that they had voted for this thing that the public didn't know was coming, but too bad, they'd already voted for it. 5 days later, 4 days later, the Senate gives final passage to this bill. By now, all of Wake County's senators are aware that this was brought from the city council to the General Assembly in secret. They all vote no, and they rip the secrecy. So let's review what happened. Prior to June 1st, we're being told no discussions. We have no plan. June 1st, a plan mysteriously appears in a secret meeting and is approved in secret. And a week later, the House passes the plan, although they have no idea that it was done in secret. And 5 days later, the Senate passes the plan and Democrats everywhere are angry. Remember now, the General Assembly is controlled by Republicans. So the Democrats never know what the Republicans are up to, but our city council is all Democrats. So it is a curiosity to me that the Republican legislature is doing what they're doing to keep our Democratic council in office. Governor Cooper didn't actually sign Senate Bill 722. He let it become law without his signature, and he criticized the Raleigh Council's secrecy, although he didn't say anything about what they'd actually done. What they did was postpone an election and extend their own terms for 13 months and got rid of runoffs so that the incumbents will have a big advantage in next year's November election. Now, was this illegal? We consulted an expert at the School of Government at Chapel Hill, and she referred us to General Statute 143-311A3. General policy matters may not be discussed in a closed session, and nothing herein shall be construed to permit a public body to close a meeting that would otherwise be open merely because the city attorney is there. So the question now becomes, is the subject of elections a general policy matter? And I would say if elections aren't a general policy matter, then nothing in a democracy is a general policy matter. So now what? Can this be undone? Yes, it can be. I was asked that this morning. It can be if council goes to the General Assembly and asks them to change the law again. And then the General Assembly would have to change it by new legislation and allow an earlier election with a runoff, restoring the rights of the voters of the city of Raleigh. There is, some of you may know, a recall effort underway, and a recall here is not like in California. Recall doesn't toss the mayor out of office. It simply says she has to run for election against anyone who wants to run against her. That's kind of the way democracies work, right? The mayor's term is up. She should be subject to a re-election campaign, and she isn't, because she and the city council majority that supports her went to the General Assembly, got the Republicans to arrange for her to stay in office and the council to stay in office for an extra 13 months. And parenthetically, I would say that the council is also discussing and may soon move to extend their terms from 2 years to 4 years. So stay tuned for that. And we won't have a normal election for 5 years.